Where did you learn this skill of enrollment, of saying, I've got this idea, it's in the future. Most people think it's 30 years away. I think it's 3 months away, which seems impossible. And I'm going to call these 5 people and convince them, essentially, but enroll them in a vision that they didn't even know was a possibility in their mind.
Yes.
You're going to speak this vision into them, into their souls, and then they're going to say yes, vote for you, sign up for something, listen to something, interview with you, pay to speak, or whatever it might be, give you lots of money, all these different things. How did you learn the art of enrollment?
Okay, that's a great question. And in the book, I have this whole chapter on leadership and vision, but like, you ask the best questions, bro. I love you. So 2 ways. One, a couple of very special coaches that I had in my life that were great visionaries. And for some reason, I've always been fascinated with great orators. So I did my dissertation in college on Dr. King.
Oh, wow.
Whatever your politics are, I think 2 of the great orators of all time are Ronald Reagan and John F. Kennedy, both of different parties. I just think they're tremendous orators. And they were great at painting these big visions. And then I read a book called Selling the Dream a long time ago, written by a guy named Guy Kawasaki. And he's the guy that basically helped like Apple with Macintosh.
Selling the Dream?
Selling the Dream. And he's a really unique dude.
Yeah, I've met him a few times.
Yeah, and so what the book's premise was this, is that great leaders are evangelical about their cause. They're evangelists. And they do that through public preaching, but they sell a big enough dream so that the dreams of all the people within their stewardship can fit inside the one they're selling. So even for you with this whole media empire you're building, one of your big roles, man, is to sell a big enough dream for everybody that gets around you, guests, vendors, advertisers, the guys that work with you, the ladies that work with you, that it is so big and so compelling that all of their dreams and visions for their life can fit inside that one.
Yeah.
And then the key thing is to repeat it over and over and over. Most leaders get tired of hearing themselves talk. And you know what? And by the way, this is true as being a mother or a father. As a father, my job is to celebrate. We're going to do something awesome as a family. I know, Dad. No, we're going to do something awesome. You're amazing. You're a superstar. I know, Dad. Doesn't matter. I'm telling them over and over and over again. Most leaders think, I got to say something new to these old people. But the truth is, you need to say something old to new people. Keep saying it over and over and over again. Sell it big. Look at all the people you admire in your life. They're visionaries who are evangelical about their mission and their cause. Not necessarily the money or the cause. What's the cause? Think about Oprah Winfrey. Think about Martha Stewart. Think about Dr. King. Think about Mother Teresa. Think about any leader. Think about Steve Jobs. You watch old videos of Steve Jobs, he wasn't selling megabytes. I've asked Wozniak several times, tell me about Steve. What was he like? I said, by the way, why did you name the thing Apple? Just curious, man. What a weird name for a company. Back when companies weren't, he goes, well, you know, and Wozniak is almost like a savant. You know, he goes, oh, well, really 2 reasons, Ed. A, came early in the phone book, so we wanted people to find us early.
Wow.
And Steve said Apple's made him happy. And so great evangelists learn to link their cause and their mission to people's bliss. You go look at an old YouTube video of Steve Jobs and he's rolling out a Mac. He's not like, here's the speed. He's like, isn't she beautiful? Wouldn't you like, look at her curves? Wouldn't she make you happy to take her home? He's selling happiness in an inanimate object. McDonald's, #1 seller of food in the history of planet Earth.
The Happy Meal.
Happy Meal. #1 older real estate. They don't sell food. They sell happiness.
Right.
Their #1 meal is a Happy Meal. Their mascot's a clown. It has nothing to do with food. But they're in the evangelical dream selling happiness business. What's the #1 thing they sell in there? Coca-Cola. You get a Coke and a smile. Happiness. So great entrepreneurs, great parents, great people have this energy where they're selling you a dream that's big enough that you can fit inside it, and the dream at the end is happiness. That's the formula.
Oh, man. So why do you think people are stuck on, I'll never be able to be good enough to accomplish what I want, the dreams are not possible for me? What keeps them stuck, though?
What keeps them stuck is this false belief system that their past is their future, so they're operating out of an operating system of their memory and their past.
So how do we let go of the past?
Well, we have to create a compelling future. In other words, you're not going to let go of one thing until you've grabbed onto the next.
So you have to create a new future.
You have to create a future in it. And by the way, it's okay that you don't believe all of it initially, as long as it becomes repetitive and we begin to take steps towards it, right? So for me, I still have stuff from my past that's there, but this future is so big. And by the way, some things are okay. People go, why do you still work so hard? Well, I want to create, there's still a little part of me that doesn't want to be broke. There's still a little bit of fear.
But you're not broke.
Yeah, but you've interviewed some of the most successful actors and entertainers, so have I. And you get them privately, and sometimes on your show they go, You afraid it's going to go away? They go, yeah, I am. That's why I work so hard. So there's an element of that that's okay. It's creating this vision for your life that's compelling. But there's this other thing. And I love Think and Grow Rich. It's one of my favorite books of all time. Next to my scripture is my favorite book. But you don't just think and get rich. You have to do things. And by the way, rich can mean more bliss, more happiness, more peace. But you don't just get those things by thinking. There's some things you have to do. But the most powerful part of Think and Grow Rich, man, is he has this part, he says, can you survive the temporary? And if you can survive the temporary, he says, on the other side of temporary pain, you get introduced to your other self. And that other self, he doesn't say this, but that other self produces that other life. And so here's what happens for most of us. We think everything's permanent. And because we think it's permanent, we make permanent decisions based on temporary conditions. Even our bodies, other than our souls, are temporary. I was with my dad, holding his hand, when his body ceased to exist anymore. His soul exists still. But if your body isn't permanent, your problem isn't, your pain isn't, you need to create a different relationship with pain in your life. The idea that you're going to avoid pain, I have a chapter in the book called One More Inconvenience. Chase difficult, inconvenient things.
Like what? Like what is something you're chasing that's inconvenient?
In a given day, the phone call you don't want to make, the meeting you don't want to have, driving out here. There's a friend of mine who I'd like to help me with the book. It's an incredibly uncomfortable phone call for me. It's the thing I don't want to do today. I don't want to bother them. It's inconvenient. And for me in my life, the inconvenient thing on the page is the one that now jumps off the screen at me that I must do. For most people, their relationship with the pain and the inconvenience is to avoid it.
Avoid as
so
much
if you
as
could
possible.
but if you could say to yourself, on the other side of this is this other self. And so whatever your pain is right now, relationships just ended, financially, something that's difficult for you to do, maybe you're trying to lose weight, whatever it might be, on the other side of that temporary pain is the other self. I have a thing I got to say to you last, man, on this topic. In the book, I have this part about piñata. And what most of us as humans don't do is we don't understand compound pounding. The relentless pursuit of something, you're making what I call invisible progress in your life. Like your show has gone, boom! Everyone goes, wow, Lewis went from 400,000 to millions of subscribers. He's the number one guy. That didn't just happen this year.
This is our 10th year.
You were compound pounding on this sucker when no one was doing this.
Exactly.
But here's the piñata thing. I go to this party, it's 5-year-olds. I didn't even want to go to the party, it's 5-year-old kids. I'm like, what am I doing here? But as a good friend, they have a piñata. We've all been to them. First kid gets up, hits the heck out of the piñata like 100 times.
Nothing
no candy
happens.
comes out. Next kid gets up, whack, whack, whack. Nothing. Next kid, whack, whack, whack. These three now quit. They're gone, another part of the party. There's 3 or 4 kids left. Everyone's losing interest. Everyone's pounding on this thing. What they didn't know is each of those blows was breaking down the piñata, although there was no evidence it was true. The last boy gets up, I swear, actually it's a little girl. Last girl gets up, she goes, wham, hits it one time, bam, all the candy comes out, and everyone celebrates. In people's lives, so was it her blow that broke the piñata? No, it was the cumulative shots. Most people don't wait around for the candy. They quit before the candy comes out of their relationship, of their body, of their business, of their bliss, of their meditation. It takes time, but you're making invisible progress. If you ever start to get down or know what to do, give yourself credit for the compound pounding you're doing. You're not sticking around long enough for the candy to come out. And that's what you need to be doing if you're going to change things. But the truth is you need to say something old to new people. Keep saying it over and over and over again. Sell it big. Look at all the people you admire in your life. They're visionaries who are evangelical about their mission and their cause. Not necessarily the money or the cause. What's the cause? Think about Oprah Winfrey. Think about Martha Stewart.